Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I got started on social media and how it has become such a large part of my life, creating content. For those of you who don't know, obviously I have a YouTube channel, which is what you are watching this video on right now. I also run a couple of TikTok accounts, as well as having my own podcast. So I am very active on a lot of different social media platforms. I also do have an Instagram account that I do post on, but I'm not quite as active on there as I am on my other platforms. But today I'm going to be giving you guys some advice on how you can get started on each of these platforms and how they can kind of all connect into kind of setting up your brand if you want to get started on social media. But before we get into the video, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you are not already subscribed, and give this video a thumbs up. And without further ado, let's just get right on into the video. Okay, so my first piece of advice is to pick a platform that you want to start on. So like I said, I have a YouTube channel, I have multiple TikToks accounts, I have an Instagram, I have a podcast. These are all like a lot of different types of social media, and I don't recommend starting with all of them right off the bat. If you do, you are just going to be so overwhelmed because it takes so long to learn these platforms and how they work and how to post on them and things like that. And I know that you think that you're going to be an expert on these things because you're like, well, I've watched so much YouTube, I've spent hours watching TikTok. Like, no way, this is gonna be easy. It is not as easy as you would think. Going from a viewer of a platform to a creator of a platform is a huge step, and that is very evident from watching a lot of my early YouTube videos.
Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is that?
And a lot of my early TikToks, I spent all of my time watching YouTube and TikTok, and yet my first YouTube videos and my first TikToks really sucked. So I definitely recommend giving yourself some time to adjust to just one type of platform. So for example, I started with YouTube, and I joined YouTube about 2 years ago and didn't join TikTok until about 7 months ago. And I'm not saying that you have to wait that long. The only reason I didn't join TikTok beforehand is because I really didn't have an interest in starting TikTok beforehand, but I would say give it at least 3 to 6 months of being on one platform before you expand your brand out to other platforms, just so that you can gain a following on the one platform. And then once you do gain a following on your one platform, it will not be as difficult to gain a following on your other platforms, because you can just tell people to go follow you, which doesn't always work, but you will have an easier time gaining a following on a second platform if you already have a platform on another platform, I guess is the best way to say that. Anyway, you guys know what I mean. But my second tip that I'm going to talk about is which social media platform to actually pick from. So there's like literally so many, and there's like so many that you can choose that I probably don't even know exist, but I'm just going to be talking about, from my experience, the social media platforms that I'm on, because I feel like those are some pretty big ones. So I'm going to talk about which one that I think is the best to start on. So I don't think that you guys should try to start out on Instagram. Obviously, if that's what you want to do, you can definitely give it a go. However, it is a lot harder to become famous on Instagram or to gain a large following on Instagram unless you already have a following on another platform first. I am not saying it cannot be done, it definitely can, but it is a lot more difficult to get famous straight away from Instagram as it is opposed to YouTube or TikTok. So those are the two that I recommend starting with. I feel like TikTok is a lot easier to get famous on than YouTube, just in my personal experience. I've been on TikTok for a lot less time and have accumulated a much larger following than I have on YouTube. So it definitely is a lot easier to get famous on TikTok, and it's also a really good start because the videos that you have to produce and the content you have to make are a lot shorter. They require a lot less editing time, a lot less filming time, whereas YouTube does take up quite a bit of your time learning camera angles, editing skills, things like that. So I feel like TikTok is a really good place to start if you do want to start creating content, and then moving over to YouTube a little bit later if that is something that you are interested in. Or you can start on YouTube first like I did. I definitely don't regret the way that I did things because, like I said, TikTok didn't even exist when I made my YouTube channel, so I definitely don't regret the way that I did things. And I think either one of those platforms is a really good place to start if you are wanting to start your social media journey. Okay, So the next tip that I have for you guys is to really connect your platforms all together. And I know this can be a little bit difficult at first, but I promise it is really not that bad. And this is how I suggest that you do that. So what I mean by connect all of your platforms is to make it very well known who you are across many types of social media. So say you are on YouTube. Many of your subscribers probably also have Instagram accounts, probably also have TikTok accounts, probably also have, whatever Twitter accounts, any other kind of account that you are on. So basically, if you maybe just at the beginning of your YouTube video, even if you don't explicitly say, hey guys, follow my Instagram, you might notice that at the beginning of some of my videos, I'll put my little Instagram handle in the bottom corner of the screen. The links to all of my social medias are also down below in the description, so if anybody looks at the description for anything, they will see direct links to my social media platforms. So my Instagram is there, my TikTok is there. Both of the locations where you can download my podcast are there, and they are very easily seeable. There, it's in all capital letters. It's one of the first things you see when you go down into my description. So you have to do something similar. And also a really good way to connect your platforms, if you ever do a giveaway, get people to follow your other platforms. So let's say you're doing a giveaway on YouTube and you're like, how you enter is you go ahead and follow me on Instagram. That is a really good way to do it, because then people will go over to your Instagram, and yes, some people might unfollow you if they do not win the giveaway, but a lot of times people will just forget that they entered if they don't win or if they don't hear anything about it, and then they'll still follow you on Instagram and continue liking your posts and things like that. I've had that happen quite a few times before where I have followed people, and that is how it generally goes. So linking your platforms through giveaways can be a really good idea. Linking your platforms through just like telling your followers about them, because if people like you, they will want to see more content from you. So if you do a good job of creating content on some of your platforms, people will be like, hey, I like her content on TikTok, I want to see longer videos and more of her personality, I'm gonna go over to her YouTube channel. So if you make yourself a good name on your platform and you really connect with your followers across all of your platforms, you will get more people who are wanting to follow you, and this will really help to build your brand because you will have influence on many different social media sites, which is really, really helpful if you are trying to grow and influence on social media. Alright, so I talked about this one a little bit in my previous tip, but it is really connecting with your followers. You're not going to be able to build a brand on social media if you don't connect with your followers in any way, shape, or form. That means responding to comments, responding to direct messages that you get, if people have questions, answering them, answering emails if you have an email set up. I know it can seem like a lot of work, but it is super, super important. I get quite a few DMs on Instagram of people who follow me on TikTok, or people who follow my podcast, or people who follow my YouTube, direct messaging me and asking me questions about my content or leaving requests or things like that. And those DMs are actually super fun to get, and it really shows that you are doing a really good job of linking your content, because you are engaging people in your content. They want to see more of you. They have questions. They want to ask you things. They have suggestions for you. So this is a really, really good thing. So spend a lot of time responding to DMs. Spend a lot of time responding to comments. I promise it will be worth your while, and it's super fun getting to know the people who follow you as well, and really getting to build a relationship with them, and you might actually get a lot of friends out of the deal. So this is kind of transitioning into my next tip, is making friends is actually super, super important. I have met so many amazing people through YouTube and TikTok, one of them being the girl I co-host my podcast with, Olivia. A lot of you guys might know her. I've talked about her quite a few times. She has YouTube and TikTok and all of that fun stuff, and then of course the podcast. But making friends is not only makes social media fun, it also makes social media, it will also expand your social media as well. So it is a lot of fun, and it will also give you a lot of opportunities as well. For example, I would have never started my podcast or branched out to do something like that if it was not for my friend Olivia. I'm not saying that you and your friend have to start a podcast if that's not something that you're into. However, I know a lot of people do joint Instagram accounts with their friend where they both run the Instagram account and talk about things that they're passionate about, or both run a TikTok account together, an exact same thing. So that is also a really good way to expand your social media, because then it's kind of like a permanent collaboration and you guys are both kind of constantly advertising for the other person. So for example, I'm advertising for my podcast a lot, and then therefore also people will find out about Olivia, and then she will get people who find out about her, look at her pages, etc., etc., and it goes both ways. So it's really cool. It's like a permanent collaboration, and people like seeing other content creators interact with each other. Think about it, a lot of your favorite YouTube videos are probably collaborations between your favorite creators, so you gotta have to think about that on a much smaller scale with your content, and really trying to collaborate with other content creators. And don't just do it if you guys aren't actually friends, because people will be able to tell and it will not be a fun video. But collaborating with your genuine friends, whether they be your real life friends or friends that you meet through social media, is super fun, and it is also good for your social media influence. Okay, this next tip is where you kind of get a lot of creative freedom, and I really can't tell you to go one way or another because both have their pros and cons, but I just wanted to point out the two possible ways that you could take your, like, if you have multiple forms of social media, some of the two main ways that you could take that, and then you guys can kind of just decide for yourself. So in my opinion, there's two ways you can take it. You can have where all of your social media, so like Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all follows the same thing. So say you are a lifestyle YouTuber, you give tips, and let's say like you give tips on like a healthy lifestyle, for example, on your YouTube channel. Let's just say that's easy. And then on your TikTok account, you also do the same thing, just in a different form. And then on your Instagram, you also do the same thing, just in a different form. That's really going to make you an expert in that field, and people will come to you if you know there's a sponsorship related to that. You will probably be able to advertise it on all of your platforms and things like that. Or there is the other way that you can do it, which is kind of what I did, and personally I find is a lot more fun, but it's totally up to you. I post very different things on all of my social media, so I'm kind of like an expert in like 3 different things. So on my YouTube channel, I post a variety of different things. I post a lot of vlogs, lifestyle, I post a lot of college tips as well, school tips, and things like that. That's kind of my YouTube channel, which if you guys watch my YouTube videos, you probably already know. And then my TikTok account, which you guys might not know if you don't follow me there, is a lot about books and reading, because I love that as well. So 2 very different types of social media platforms. So I have been reached out to people for people to ask me questions about college and college admissions, and then I've also been reached out to people asking for book recommendations and even sponsorships related to books and things like that. So 2 very, very different things. So I'm not exactly making myself an expert in just one field. However, I'm kind of making myself a quote-unquote expert. I say that term very loosely because I'm not an expert, but a quote-unquote expert in a couple of different things. So in my opinion, that's what I like to do because it's a lot more fun. I kind of get bored posting the same content over and over again, so I really do like to change it up. So that is what I do. However, if you are really, really, really passionate about one thing and you are totally okay posting that same thing you're not posting the same thing because obviously you're making different content, but if you're okay with posting on the same topic on a variety of social media platforms, then you should definitely go for it because it will make you a really credible expert. You probably actually will become an expert in the field at that point. And a lot of people will really value your advice and the things that you are saying very highly. So there's pros and cons to both, and you really have to decide what you want. You have to think about what you want to make content about, and if you want to make content about the same thing throughout all of your platforms, or if you want to spread it out and diversify it a little bit, it is totally up to you. I personally don't think that there's one benefit over the other because it's only beneficial if you are truly passionate about it. If you are not passionate about it, there is no benefit to it. So if you're making content about the same thing across all platforms because you think it'll make you an expert and make more people follow you, but you hate making content about the same thing over and over again, it's not going to be beneficial. So that's why I say it's totally up to you. They're both equally beneficial in my opinion. It's just whatever you want to do. Alright guys, that is going to be all for this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know in the comments. I also have a bunch of other videos about getting started on YouTube and getting started on TikTok that I will have linked down below. I also have a video about starting a podcast, so if you want to know how I specifically got started on all of these individual platforms, then please feel free to check out those videos, again, linked down below. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that it helped, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!